These 5 tips, I can almost guarantee you'll do better at Beaver Pond, whatever mud race you're racing. But this is Mideast. I guarantee you'll do better. I had not really gotten more than, I think the best I've placed ever is 7th. I got 2nd in this place at Chestnut Corner. I've got highlights to prove it following this. It's going to be quick. You can skip through if you want. But I got 2nd place, best I've ever placed. And I've got the full video. It'll be linked in the description below. But check this out. Stick around. These 5 tips, all 5 of these items made me significantly faster. And really, there's a 6th bonus at the end. I'm going to bed. I'm posting it tonight. You'll see it tomorrow. Hopefully we get some more packs rolling C-Class. And people are a little more comfortable in the mud. But I will see you guys there. Like, sub. I'll see you. This will be up tonight. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Racing Mideast tomorrow, getting the bike ready. It's going to be a mudder. You can hear the rain, hopefully not as much, but you can hear it. But we're going to do 5 top tips for somebody racing their first motocross mud event, whether it's, enduro, hare scrambles, whatever it is. This will give you some tips. This is for beginners, but going to walk through my top 5 steps for you. So you're going to, want to make sure you clean this thing up to the max. As you can see up here, mud race tips 1. Clean your bike in SC1. So I know your first thought is SC1's a scam, and obviously I'm going to clean my bike, but hear me out. So during these races, the bike is going to get so muddy between the radiator, everything is going to be not working optimally during this race. So what I recommend is cleaning this thing really well. You want to keep it as light as you can for as light as you can, because the bike is designed to run. It's not designed to run with 100 pounds of mud on it. So the lighter we can keep it, the better you are. So I keep my new one, way cleaner than the Yamaha. I used to run races and not clean from the week before. It's stupid. But make sure you clean that thing off. I've got a nice bike now. I want to take good care of it. And then the SC1 piece, I'm kind of putting 2 tips in one. All right, so for example, you can see here, I actually haven't SC1'd this yet. It's a little dirty still. You don't want to have anything like this in here either. You want your radiator nice and clean. Let me clean this out and I'll be right back with the video. Go ahead and coat this thing down with some SC1 or pig spit. This was the cheaper option. I'll let you guys know how good this does, but I mean, you really want to coat the thing down pretty good, because that is your lifeline as far as keeping this thing running. All right, now we're going to move on to step number 2 with your goggles and what I recommend as far as tearoffs, knowing how to use them. And I use clear lenses in these rain events. That's just me. Some people may like it another way, but for me, I like the clear lenses. All right, so I nutted up and bought a set of these. These are where it's at. Clear lens, in my opinion, is the best. They're a little expensive at the track. I think it was $60 or $70. I might be able to find you something cheaper online, but I'll leave that in the description below and use that because it gives me like a penny, but better than nothing. But you pull this, you can see it starts to cycle through. Once you get the $70, I don't think the replacements are expensive, but that's where it's at if you can afford to get these things. And for the record, I was not trying to be a cuck and say you couldn't afford them. That's not what I meant by that, but I'm tired. I got to get this done. If you're already committed to tear-offs, learn how to use them, learn how to pull off one at a time. Be careful how you install them. I don't like them, but try them. All right, so tip number 3, tire choice, as well as tire pressure. So for me personally, just because I've done a couple of them, I like to run. All right, a little different than what I originally said. I'm redoing this for the better. After that Chestnut race, I found out, and I had been running this, I didn't actually measure the pressure, what I said on camera, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've run this pressure for Camp Coker, a bunch of them, mud, whatever the fuck. The rock crawling scene taught me that tires, I mean, that's critical. You need good traction. And the lower tire pressure, the more traction. So I'm gonna give you a visual I mean, I'm pushing the lugs about halfway to the rim. I take 3/4 of the way to the rim is as far as I'm going, but I've run that for roots at Camp Coker. I've run it in the mud. It does really well in the mud, way better. It's very helpful in the mud. But just something to consider. If it's your first race, definitely go higher, but I don't know exact PSI, but you kind of could see there. And if you have questions, leave those in the comments below and I'll post PSI. All right, tip number 4, rain gear, ponchos, extra gloves, maybe a tent to stay warm. That's important. I don't have one to show you right now. I think it's nice to have a tent so you're not soaking wet going up to the line. This poncho portion here, I don't like to run unless it is absolutely freezing cold and I can't afford to get wet, because a lot of times I can survive through that, but this just makes me sweat my ass off with no real ability to ever get warm again. Some people rock extra gloves. If you're running a 3-hour race, or if you go down, it's nice to have an extra pair of gloves. And this kind of leads on into the 5th and final, and I think this is the most important step, but realistically, all right, and my 5th and final tip is gonna be consistency is greater than pushing the limits. You're trying to survive. All right, so for those of you that stuck around, I have one additional tip for you, and I appreciate you sticking around. Make sure to subscribe and like, but want to give you one more tip, and look forward to keep making videos for you guys. So leave us some comments on videos you'd like to see. How can I help? I'm not the best, but I'd love to start pointing you guys in the right direction. Get into C-Class with us and start having a good time. So that last and final tip is here. All right, so I'm not real sure why I'm laying on the floor here, but these Rotor Guards I think look pretty sweet. They're kind of old school, but I like these. They keep some mud out of the rotors to the best that they can, deflects it especially at the beginning, so at least off the start you can, I don't know, I just feel like it's helpful at the beginning. They're gonna get covered in mud, but if you have the money, these are a nice thing to add. Don't break the bank, but these things are pretty nice. Make sure when you order these damn things that you get the bracket specific to your machine. I bought them for my Yamaha. I never installed them because I never bought the bracket. The guard's like 30 bucks, but the mount's 40, so keep that in mind. So all right guys, hope this did something for you. Give us a like, hit me up on Instagram, all the social platforms at DylanMotoX, Facebook, TikTok. If you're interested, I post a lot of cool videos on there. I'm trying to do some vintage kind of stuff like Terra Firma 4 style trips, motorhome, stuff like that. But if interested, hit me up over there. And we certainly appreciate you watching. Sub if you'd like, and we'll see you guys at the race. And any comments of any kind are appreciated. Love to see what feedback I can get. Y'all have a good one. I'm gonna get to work.